Hi, my name is John Turnquist. I'm a yoga instructor here at Lincoln Yoga Center. So I'll be teaching Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. So please join us sometime. You have the option of joining in from Zoom, or you can come here to the studio where we'll practice social distancing. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Do we want to keep breathing, or should we just transition from where we were? Keep breathing? Yeah, we just breathe for just kind of ground ourselves again here. So we're coming into Sukhasana. If you need to stretch those legs out, please honor the body, give your body what it needs. So holding discomfort's okay for a certain point, and then after a while, it's okay to listen to your body and to give it what it needs. So we're here in Sukhasana, an easy pose. We're just allowing the sit bones to be heavy. We're allowing the hips to soften. Certainly if you have a block or a bolster at home, you can sit on that to elevate your hips and lower your knees a little bit. That just takes a little pressure off your hips. It will also allow you to sort of tilt your pelvis a little bit forward. It'll help you to straighten your spine as you lengthen up through the crown of your head, keeping those sit bones heavy and grounded. Shoulders are relaxed down the back, away from the ears. Chest is open to the world, still open to 2020, as challenging as that's been for all of us. And if it's comfortable, you can keep your eyes closed or open, whatever feels right for you. Just going to spend a minute breathing and grounding ourselves here. So hands can be in Jnana Mudra, thumb and index finger together, 3 fingers extend straight out. If you need a little extra grounding, you can bring your thumb and ring finger together in Earth Mudra. That has the effect of just calming and grounding the nervous system and the mind. You can also just fold your hands in your lap if that feels better. Palms can be on the knees. So the most important thing right now is to just feel as comfortable as possible. You don't have to be perfectly comfortable. It's okay sometimes just to hold the discomfort until it becomes more comfortable and you don't even notice it. And we'll just slowly deepen the breath here. We'll inhale deep into that belly. So this is called belly breath, diaphragmatic breath. If it helps, you can even place your palms on your belly, and as you inhale, just feel the belly expand right into your palms. And as you exhale, just draw the belly button back towards the spine, releasing all the stale breath from your lungs. Just continue that deep belly breath, inhaling and exhaling as long as it's what's comfortable for you. So there's more a sense of fullness and deepness rather than a specific time. So just whatever that might be for you, we're all different. You can even sigh it out through the mouth if that feels right for you. You can inhale, exhale through the nose if the nose is not stuffed up. Cultivating mindful awareness, right? You're just noticing in the present moment what's happening in my mind, my body. How's the breath affecting the relationship between the mind and body? But you're just noticing without actively thinking about it, analyzing. You're just the noticer. And as you deepen the breath and breathe more kind of from the belly and the low back, just notice any changes in your awareness. Maybe feel a little calmer, a little more open. And just stretch those legs out whenever you need. We're going to slowly inhale those arms up. So keeping the sit bones as heavy and grounded as possible. You're going to reach the fingers up towards the ceiling. You can even look up towards the palms or keep your gaze forward, eyes open or closed. Exhale, arms down. So we're just stretching the spine, the back here. Inhale. Arms up. Nice deep exhale. Arms are light, shoulders soft. We'll just do that one more time here. Nice deep inhale in. Reach the fingers up towards the sky. We're going to exhale. We're going to twist towards our rights. Just a gentle twist here, so keeping those sit bones grounded. As you inhale, grow the spine up through the top of the head. Just shine your heart forward, widen your shoulders. If it feels comfortable, you can look over that right shoulder. Just allow the left shoulder to lower down a little bit. We'll hold it here for one more nice deep breath in. As you inhale, again, just continue growing the spine, shining the heart, widening the shoulders. Exhale, twist from the navel. And we'll inhale those arms up. Nice deep breath in. We'll exhale, we'll twist here towards the left. You can bring your right hand to the left knee. Left hand, fingers, palm can press into the floor right behind your sit bones. As you inhale, keep the sit bones grounded, and then you'll feel that rebound force traveling up the spine, growing the spine, shining the heart, widening the shoulders. Maybe you look over the left shoulder. We'll inhale those arms forward. We'll be here just a little bit longer in Sukhasana. So again, just stretch those legs out whenever you need. We're going to bring our hands just in front of us for a little gentle seated forward bend here. So you're going to keep those sit bones plugged in. As you inhale, you're going to shine your heart away from the sit bones, keeping the shoulders sort of roll down the back as much as possible. Gaze can be down towards the floor, and then as you exhale, just hinge from the hips. You can also use your palms as leverage to press in the floor to keep your sit bones plugged in. And just continue that inhale, shining the heart away from the sit bones. Exhale, hinging forward, maybe walking your hands further away. Again, allow the breath to be expansive, the in-breath. One of my favorite stretches, we're gonna walk our hands towards the right. This feels comfortable for you. So allow that left sit bone to still be plugged into the ground, and it's that same idea of inhale, shine the heart away from the sit bone, lengthen the front of the body. And then as you exhale, just fold over that right thigh, but without overly rounding the spine. So we want to keep as much length in the front body as possible. And each time you exhale, that's an opportunity to release tension from the mind, from the body. If it helps to name what it is you're releasing, go for it. And we'll walk our hands back towards the center and then over towards the left. And you might notice one side is a little tighter than the other, maybe not. So keep that right butt bone or sit bone plugged in as you inhale. Shine that heart away from the sit bone. And as you exhale, just fold over that left thigh without overly rounding the spine. So just find that sweet spot where you don't need to push yourself any further. Allowing the in-breath to lengthen, to open up, the out-breath to release, to soften. We'll walk our hands back towards the center. And then just for a moment, let's come into a little heart opener here. So bringing our fingers or palms right behind our sit bones, pressed into the floor. We draw our shoulder blades together. We open our hearts. Gaze can be forward. You can also bring your chin down towards your chest to keep the back of the neck long. And as you inhale, really breathe right into the heart center. Maybe drawing your belly button back a little bit. So in yoga, we call it Uddiyana Bandha. We draw the belly back, and that helps to sort of concentrate the energy right here in our heart center. Maybe even bringing the chin towards the chest. Just feel that sense of expansion and openness, that good stretch across the chest and the shoulders. And then we'll slowly release. And we're going to make our way to tabletop. So we're going to come onto our hands and knees. Oh, it probably feels good to stretch those legs out a little bit. So you can keep your toes curled or tucked, whatever feels right for you. So hips right over the knees, shoulders are stacked right over the wrist, maybe wrist slightly in front of the shoulders. So whatever feels comfortable for you. If this doesn't feel good on your wrists, you can also create fists and let your knuckles face each other, and that just takes a little pressure off the wrists. So we're gonna do a little cat-cow, which is a great warm-up for the spine here. So as we inhale, we release the belly towards the floor. We gaze forward, we draw our shoulder blades, we firm them onto the back, and then we point our tailbone up towards the back wall. So we create a dip in our low back. And then as we exhale, we firmly press into the floor, we round the spine. Our gaze can be towards our knees or towards our belly button. And as you inhale, relax the belly. Shine your heart between both arms, gaze forward. Create that arch in your low back as you paint your tailbone up the back wall. So we're bending the spine in two directions here. Right now we're in extension, and as we exhale, we draw the belly back towards the spine. We round the spine in flexion here, pressing palms into the floor. Inhale, relax the belly, shine the heart forward between the arms, gaze forward. So just kind of find your own flow here. So I like to close my eyes and make this a moving meditation. I like to kind of just get lost in the breath, the movement, your awareness, the boundaries among all three kind of just dissolve. So I just want it to feel like it kind of flows for you. It's nice and fluid. Maybe at some point you circle your hips over your knees. Again, just keeping things fluid. So we're just lubricating our hip joints here, and then at some point you'll switch direction. Just being very mindful of the movements, the breath. If you hear your knees crunch like mine, you're mindful of that too. You know, it's all good. We're going to come into a little Ashtanga Namaskar, so 8-point posture here. We're going to shift our weight forward. So we already have our knees on the floor. We're going to curl our toes and then just lower our heart right between both arms, elbows hugging the body, shoulders drawn down the back. So knees, chest, chin, our booty sticking straight up in the air, and then we inhale, we straighten the legs, we ground our pelvis, we come into a little Bhujangasana, cobra pose. So gaze is forward, slightly down. We lift our upper and mid back away from the floor as we press our pubic bone into the floor. So a little back bend here. Then we curl our toes, and then we come back into a little devotional pose, bringing our sit bones towards our heels. Forehead may come to the ground. It may just remain suspended in the air. So whatever feels comfortable for you. Keep your palms pressing into the floor. We'll inhale into a little cat here, and then we'll exhale. We'll do our 8-point posture again. Knees followed by chest, followed by chin. Again, arms hugging the body, shoulders drawn back. We'll inhale, we'll straighten our legs, grounding the tops of our feet, grounding our pelvis, peeling the backs of our shoulders and our upper and mid back away from the floor. Sort of drawing your palms down a little bit to help you peel. And then curling our toes, we press our palms into the floor, bring our sit bones back towards our heels. And again, forehead may come to the floor or a block if you have one. It can also stay in the air. We're going to do this just one more time. This is just a part of our warm-up series here. We'll inhale around the spine. We'll exhale, 8-point posture. We have our knees, we have our chest, our chin, our elbows hugging the body, shoulders rolled down the back. Keeping your abdominals engaged. We'll inhale, we'll straighten the legs, we'll ground the tops of our feet, our pubic bone pressing into the floor. Draw your palms down and then notice how it peels your backs of your shoulders, as well as your upper and mid back away from the floor. And we'll curl our toes, and then we'll just bring our sit bones back towards our heels for one last devotional pose. Palms actively pressing into the floor. Then we're going to come back to table pose here. We're just going to do a little thread the needle flow here. So let's keep our toes tucked, hips over knees, shoulders over wrist. So 3 times we're just going to inhale that right arm up. So we're going to bring a little twist action across the spine. We're going to exhale. We're going to bring our right shoulder, right temple to the floor. For just a moment, we inhale. We exhale, we thread. We'll do it one more time before we hold it a little longer. We inhale, arms up. Exhale, we'll thread. This time we'll hold it a little longer, so you might walk your left palm further out, away from the body a little bit. So the trick is to keep your hips back a little bit, and that'll help us avoid dumping weight in our shoulders and our neck. So you can stay here. If you want to straighten your left leg, press the ball of your left foot into the floor to begin. And if you want to take it even further, raise that left leg, keeping your hips fairly level here, and then maybe just find 10 leg raises. So we're going to strengthen the back of our left leg and our glutes here. So maybe find about 10 leg raises, only if that feels right for you. Just a little extra challenge. And once you've done about 10, or whatever you're satisfied with, we're going to unthread, we're going to come back to table. We're going to do a few cat-cows here just to kind of align the spine. Everyone who's present with me today is doing fantastic. And then we'll come back to table here, and then we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. So we'll raise that left arm up. We'll thread it underneath that right armpit. So the right shoulder, right temple come to the floor. We'll inhale, arm up. Exhale, thread. So bringing just a little twist across the spine. It's one of 7 ways we can move the spine to keep it young and healthy, which according to the yogic tradition is the key to health and longevity, is a healthy spine. So this time we'll hold or thread the needle a little bit, so we'll keep our hips right over our knees, even a little further back if that takes some weight off the front body. Maybe walk your right palm a little bit away. You can keep your elbow bent 90 degrees and just find a little twist here using the breath to create some openness and expansion in the torso. And if you want just a little extra challenge, maybe this is right where you need to be. Maybe you lengthen that right leg, pressing the ball of the right foot into the floor. Maybe this is where you need to be, otherwise you can raise that right leg, keeping your hips fairly level. And maybe you just find 10 leg raises, just at your own pace. And then just in your mindful awareness, notice what muscles are doing work. And the glutes, the back of the right leg. Just do as many as feels comfortable for you. And even if it doesn't feel comfortable, just hold some of that discomfort and challenge yourself just a little bit. And then when you're done, I don't even know how many I did. Could have been 20, could have been 7. We'll come back into table here. We'll just do a few more cat-cows. And then we're going to come back to table. We're going to walk our palms just in front of our shoulders. We're going to get set up for downward facing dog. So we're really going to grip our palms into the floor, especially the base of the thumb and the index finger. So when we come into downward facing dog or an inverted V shape, we want to internally rotate our forearms as we press down through the base of the thumb index finger. And we want to rotate our upper arms away from each other. So we have these two opposing directions, and that helps to create some space between our shoulders and our ears. So we curl our toes, and then we lift our hips up and back. Really actively pressing palms into the floor. Floor presses into the palms. Now, if you're really tight across the back of both legs, keep a little bend in your knees, and that's going to help you keep a straighter spine. And then maybe you alternate pressing through each heel just to warm up the backs of the legs. So continue pressing palms into the floor. Floor presses into the palms. Flicking your sit bones up the back wall, so tilting your pelvis forward a little bit. We're building some strength here in our upper body, stretching the backs of the legs. And then very slowly, we're just going to walk our feet towards our palms. We're going to come into ragdoll pose, one of my favorite. I'm going to actually turn around here so I can face you. So you have the option of keeping your knees bent. You can grab opposite elbows with your palms. You can even just let your palms dangle down, arms dangle down. Maybe you rock side to side. Just allow the head to be soft, the neck, the shoulders. Just feel this is a great stretch, really, for the whole backside of the body. It's a great pose for decompressing the spine, so kind of just pulling it apart, creating space between each vertebra. And then we're going to bend our knees, and then we're going to straighten our legs, straighten the spine. We're going to come here into Tadasana, into mountain pose. So feet are about maybe hip width apart, more or less. Just take a moment, just kind of check in, cultivate some mindful awareness here. We're just going to come into a little vinyasa or flow here. We're going to inhale those arms up, so arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. We're going to exhale. We're going to draw our belly button back. We're going to hinge from our hips. We're going to forward fold. You may keep a little bend in the knees here. And then we bend our knees, and then we straighten our legs, straighten our spine. Growing the body back into mountain pose. Wonderful, we'll do that 2 more times. So we'll inhale those arms up. Keeping your feet pressed into the floor, reaching up through the fingers for a little full body stretch. And then we exhale, we draw the belly back, we hinge forward. Keeping length across the front body as much as you can. Exhale. Little forward bend here. And then we'll bend our knees and we'll straighten our legs. Slowly straighten the spine, coming back into mountain pose. We'll inhale one last time, full body stretch. Maybe even look up between the thumbs. Drawing your belly button back as you exhale, hinge from the hips, shine the heart out and over the legs.
hold this one just a little bit longer for a nice back body stretch. Maybe we inhale half high, so bringing the palms up the shins, using the muscles of our back to elevate our torso, keeping the navel drawn back to protect the low back, shining the crown of the head away from the sit bones, and then we exhale, hinge forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. And then we'll bend our knees, and then again we'll slowly straighten the legs, and then uncurl the spine. Coming back here into mountain pose. Just taking a moment and just cultivating mindful awareness. Just noticing. Noticing the breath. Noticing the body. And noticing the mind. And since 2020's been stressful and we tend to store a lot of stress in our shoulders and neck, we're just going to do some neck and shoulder work. We're just going to bring our chin towards our chest. So maybe you feel a nice stretch across the back of your neck, maybe even running down your spine, allowing the shoulders to be soft. We can roll the right ear to the right shoulder for a moment on the in-breath. And then exhale, we bring chin back to chest. Inhale. Left ear to left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. I'll do it a few more times on each side. And then we'll bring the right ear to the right shoulder. If it feels good, you can take your right fingers or palm and gently press into your left temple. Maybe even extend your left arm straight out. Just feel that nice stretch there across the left side of the neck, the shoulders. You don't need to push it more than is necessary. Just using the breath to create that sense of openness and expansion. We'll slowly release the arms, and then we'll just rotate left ear to left shoulder. And again, if it feels right, just gently press the left fingers right. Maybe on the right ear or temple, you can even reach through those right fingers. Just releasing 2020 COVID with that out breath, right? Just releasing from your nervous system what is no longer serving you. I'll go ahead and release here. And then we'll gaze forward maybe 3 times. We'll inhale those shoulders up, creating a little sense of contraction, and then exhale, release, roll the shoulders down the back. Inhale, roll the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, shoulders roll down the back. And one more time. Inhale, shoulders roll up. Exhale, shoulders roll down. We'll do it back to front this time. So we'll inhale, roll the shoulders up. Exhale, roll the shoulders down. Nice. And we'll go ahead and let's just let those arms flop from side to side. A little happy elephant here. And just allowing the arms and shoulders to be free of tension. Very nice. And we'll come back here to mountain pose, and we're going to make our way back to the mat. So we're going to come into child's pose. And we'll just get nice and grounded here. So you can bring your sit bones to your heels. And we'll just fold the front of the torso right over the thighs. Your forehead may come to the floor. If it doesn't, you can certainly just maybe stack 2 fists or 2 palms and then rest your forehead on that. So there's different options here. If you have blankets or a bolster at home, you can place one between your sit bones and heels. If your sit bones don't and your heels don't connect with each other. You can extend your arms out in front like devotional pose, or just allow them to rest alongside the body. So again, there's lots of different ways to come into child's pose. And as you inhale, just fill the whole torso up with breath. You may feel the belly pressing into the thighs, thighs pressing into the belly. And as you exhale, just release tension from the body. And slowly, we're going to come back to table pose here. Okay. And then we're going to step our right foot forward. So it's going to be right between both palms. You might be up on your fingertips. And then we're going to curl our back toes. Okay, so we're going to come into Anjaneyasana, a little low crescent lunge here. Okay, so we're going to inhale those arms up. So arms are about shoulder width apart, palms facing each other, gaze is forward. And just allow the weight of your upper body to kind of settle into your hips. So your hips sort of sink forward and down a little bit. You're going to feel a nice little stretch here in your psoas muscle. It's the primary hip flexor in the body. So as you inhale, draw your belly back a little bit, but shine your heart. Shoulder blades come together slightly. And then we're going to exhale. We're going to frame that front foot. We're going to inhale. We're going to straighten that back leg, and we're going to work on straightening the right leg as well, coming into a little pyramid pose. So if you need to adjust your stance, go for it. We're going to feel a nice little stretch here across the back of the right leg. So again, keep as much of a bend in that knee as you need, because we don't want to overly round the spine. We're gonna do this 3 times total. So we're gonna inhale that left knee back down, arms up, coming back into our crescent lunge here. And we'll exhale. We'll frame that front foot. We'll inhale. Send your hips back, but bring your heart out and over that right leg. You can be up on the ball of that left foot. And then we'll inhale, we'll lower that left knee down. Raise those arms back up. We'll do it one more time. We'll exhale, we'll frame that front foot. Inhale, we'll come up into the ball of that left foot. Work on straightening that right leg as you send your hips back, but the top of your head, the crown of your head sort of lengthens in the opposite direction. If you have blocks at home, you can certainly place both hands on blocks. And we'll lower that left knee down. We'll come back into tabletop. Nice job, everyone. And we'll switch sides here. So we're gonna step that left foot forward right between both hands. Might even bring that right knee back just a little bit. And then we'll inhale those arms up, about shoulder width apart, palms facing each other. Just allow the weight to settle down into the hips. Shift your pelvis forward just a little bit here so you feel that good stretch right here in your psoas muscle. Find a little lift in your pubic bone as you draw your belly back, and that helps just to protect the low back from too much crunch in that low back. So shine the heart. Draw the fingers up towards the sky, but bring the upper arms back down into the shoulders. Then we'll go ahead and we'll frame that front foot. Then we'll inhale, we'll straighten both legs as much as you need to. Maybe keep a little bend in that left knee for a little pyramid pose here. We'll do this 3 times total. So we'll inhale, we'll lower that right knee. Inhale, arms back up into our crescent low lunge. And we'll exhale, frame the left foot. We'll inhale, we'll straighten both legs. Send your hips back, but lengthen the crown of your head in the opposite direction. So we want to avoid rounding the spine as much as possible so you can keep a little bend in that left knee. Up on the ball of that right foot, and then we'll lower that right knee down. Inhale back into crescent lunge. And then one last time, we'll exhale. And we'll inhale, we'll work on straightening our legs, shifting the hips back, lengthening the spine as much as possible. And we'll go ahead and we'll lower that right knee down. Let's come back into child's pose for just a few breaths. Modifying it however you need to make it as comfortable as possible. We'll come back to table. We're gonna walk our palms in front of the shoulders. And we're gonna come back into downward facing dog. Remember, really actively press those palms into the floor. Floor presses into the palms. Shine your heart towards the floor. Draw your belly back to kind of flick those sit bones up the back wall. Little internal rotation of our thigh bones here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to inhale our right leg up. Three-legged dog. It might be aligned with the spine. It may not. As you level your hips, and we'll exhale, we'll bend the right knee, and then we'll help or step it through. So the right foot lands right between both palms, a little bit closer to the right thumb. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to ground that back foot. We're going to angle it about 45 degrees. I just realized I won't be facing the camera for this, but yeah, it's all right. You'll still see it. We're going to windmill those arms up here to Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Okay, so we want that right knee right over the ankle, maybe tracking over the second toe. That back foot, that left foot's really strong, pressing into the floor. Arms are parallel with the floor, so we're reaching out through the fingers, but drawing the upper arms back into the shoulder sockets. And find just a little lift in your pubic bone to draw your tail down towards the floor. But watch that right knee just to make sure it stays tracking over about the second or third toe. We'll just find just a little flow here, so a little reverse warrior. So raising that right arm, really opening up that right rib cage. And as we exhale, we'll come into a little extended side angle here. So really ground that left foot, reach through the left fingers for a nice side body stretch. Then we'll come back into a little reverse warrior. So inhale, those left fingers up. Coming back into reverse warrior. We'll do this 2 more times. Exhale, little extended side angle. Feel that nice side body stretch. Inhale, lift up through the left fingers. Both feet still active, pressing into the floor. Little reverse warrior, and then lastly, little extended side angle. And this time we're going to straighten that right leg as we lift up through the left fingers, a little reverse triangle, Trikonasana. And then as we exhale, we're going to shift our hips back. We're going to reach through the right fingers, coming into Trikonasana, and then lowering the right palm down to the shin, stacking our shoulders. Left hand is in alignment with our left shoulder. Then we'll inhale for a little reverse triangle again, so we're really working those obliques. And then exhale, coming back into Trikonasana triangle. Just want to make sure your ankle, knee, and hip are in a straight line. On that right leg, stacking our shoulders, lengthening our shoulders away from each other. Both feet active. And then one more time. Exhale, we'll shift our hips back, reach through the right fingers, and then work on stacking our shoulders. You guys are doing amazing. And then we'll windmill that left arm down. We'll frame that front foot We'll step back into a downward facing dog. And then we'll lift that left leg as we breathe in for a three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the left knee, and then help or step that left foot forward, coming into a runner's lunge. And then we'll angle that back foot about 45 degrees, so we have about heel to heel alignment, or maybe heel to back arch. And we'll inhale, we'll windmill those arms. So both arms are parallel with the floor. We want that left knee tracking right over the second or third toe. It's also vertical right over the ankle. So reaching the fingers out, drawing the upper arms back in, finding a little lift in the pubic bone to point the tail down. Then we'll come into our flow here, so we'll inhale for a little reverse warrior. Really breathe into that left rib cage, but keep bending that left knee. And we'll exhale for a little extended side angle here, so really ground through the right foot. Reach through the right fingers for a nice side body stretch. Gaze can be up or down. Both feet are active. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. We'll do it once more before we move on to our triangle series. Inhale, extended side angle. And exhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. And then we'll inhale, we'll reach up through the right fingers, a little reverse triangle here, reverse trikonasana. And as you exhale, start shifting your hips back, reaching through the left fingers. And then we'll just lower left palm to the shin. Bring that right arm up so our shoulders are stacked vertical. We'll inhale, a little reverse trikonasana. Exhale, reach through the left finger, shift those hips back. We want to keep length across both sides of the body. And one more time, we'll reverse triangle. Our obliques are getting a good workout here. Exhale, reach through those left fingers. Keep sending the hips back, but lengthen through the crown of the head to lengthen both sides of the body. Then we'll go ahead and we'll bring that right arm down. We'll come back into child's pose. Good work, everybody. We're getting close to the end, so we'll kind of start cooling things down a little bit. Breathing expansively into the entire torso. Exhale, just feel that release. We'll make our way onto our sit bones. We're going to bring the soles of our feet together. And again, if you have a prop, so if you have a bolster or a blanket at home, it may help to sit on that to raise the hips. That'll help lower the knees. It'll also help you tilt your pelvis forward more so you're not rounding the spine. So we're just gonna bring a nice little stretch to our inner thighs here and our groins. So you can clasp your fingers right over your feet just like this. And as you inhale, sort of ground the sit bones, grow the spine tall, shine your heart. Just feel that nice stretch there. Really working our adductor muscles, our inner thigh muscles. Just holding it here, just allowing the sit bones to sort of relax into the floor, hips relaxed. We might find just a little cat-cow variation here. So we're gonna inhale. You might reach your arms forward. You can also continue holding on to your feet. And as you exhale, tilt your pelvis back and then just round your spine. Bring your chin towards your chest. Keep reaching out through the fingers. And as you inhale, lift the chin, shine the heart forward. Nice deep breath in, and as you exhale, tilt the pelvis back around the spine. Keep reaching through the fingers. And then next time you inhale forward, we're just gonna hinge from our hips a little bit. So you might press your elbows into your shins, shins into your elbows. You might walk your hands in front of your feet. So whatever feels comfortable for you or more attainable. We'll slowly just sit nice and tall. Let's go ahead and extend that right leg. We're gonna bring the bottom of the left foot just inside that right thigh. So we wanna keep this right leg sort of active, especially here in the thigh. If this left knee pops up off the ground, you can place some kind of prop underneath it for support. So we'll square the torso towards that right leg, pressing energy out through the heel as you inhale. Let's just grow that spine, and as we exhale, we'll just walk our hands out. If you need to, you can also bend that right knee. And again, that'll just kind of help you keep some length across the front of the spine. So just continue. Inhale, engaging that thigh. And as you exhale, just walk your hands a little further down the leg, hinging from the hips. We want to avoid overly rounding the spine, so it's more about maintaining length across the front body rather than forcing ourselves into it and potentially not be nice to our spine. Stay here for a few more breaths. Really breathe into that low back, breathe into the hips. We're just gonna rest that right forearm right on top of the leg or inside the leg, maybe on a block or on the floor. Keep those sit bones heavy and grounded. We're gonna sort of rotate our heart up towards the sky and then raise that left arm. So we're sort of stacking our shoulders. Maybe this is enough for you. If it feels right, you can even reach those left fingers towards the right foot. Your gaze can be up or down, whatever feels better on your neck. And we'll take a nice deep breath in. We'll lift up through the left fingers, and then we'll switch sides here. And bringing the bottom of the right foot, press it right into the inner left thigh. So we have about a nice little 90-degree angle here. Again, if it helps to avoid rounding your spine, just sit on a blanket or a pillow or a bolster. So we'll inhale, we'll face that left leg, press energy out through the heel. That really helps intensify the stretch across the back of the leg. We'll inhale, press your finger tips into the floor to help you lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, we're just going to walk our hands forward. And again, we don't want to sacrifice length in order to come into what we think we need to come into. So just continue that principle of inhale, lengthening, and exhale, kind of hinging, but also just, I encourage you to find that sweet spot where you don't need to go any further. Stay here for just a few more breaths. And then we'll just rest that left forearm right on the leg or inside the leg, whatever feels best for you. Sit bones stay heavy and grounded, and that kind of becomes our pivot point to rotate the heart up towards the sky, followed by the left arm. Just take a moment, check in with your neck, maybe looking up towards the arm feels right, maybe just keeping your gaze pointed down feels better. So there's also the option of reaching those right fingers towards that left foot. I had to make sure I was getting my right and my left correct. You might notice one side of the body is a little bit tighter than the other. These are just things to notice and pay attention to help you bring more balance to the body. We'll inhale those arms back up. Oh, goodness. Let's go ahead and straighten our legs. We're going to come into a little seated forward fold before we make our way to the floor. So find your sit bones pressed into the floor. Knees can stay bent. Again, you can sit on a blanket or a bolster if that helps you avoid rounding your spine. The bent knees will also help you just be able to grow your spine more upright and tilt that pelvis forward. So I always have tight hamstrings in the morning, so I'm going to bend my knees, and you know what? I'm okay with that. So let's practice that same principle of inhale, pressing your fingers into the floor, and that's going to help kind of give you a little bit of that lift, that leverage to then exhale, and then walk your hands closer towards your feet, again, without sacrificing length in order to force yourself deeper into the pose. And again, just continue pressing fingers into the floor to kind of help shine that heart forward, roll the shoulders down the back, and then exhale. Hinge from those hips. And some of you might be able to grab a hold of your big toes with your thumb, index, and middle finger, or your feet. Allow that breath to be really deep and expansive. Inhale, filling that belly, and then allowing the breath and the energy to travel up the spine, almost up through the crown of the head, giving you that length to then exhale and hinge. few more breaths. And slowly we'll release. Let's just roll down our back here. We're gonna bring our knees in towards our chest and just take a moment. Notice how good that feels to just rock side to side. Giving that low back and the sacrum a nice massage. Let's go ahead and we'll just bring our knees over towards the right here. So if you're able to ground your left shoulder, go for it. If not, that's okay too. Elbows could be 90 degrees, or you can extend the arms straight out. And slowly, let's shift the knees over towards the left. So you're stacking your ankles, your knees, your hips just as much as you can. Maybe grounding that right shoulder, looking over towards the right side. Make our way back onto the back. Let's bring the soles of our feet together for just a moment. And we'll just come into a little reclining bound angle pose. If this doesn't feel good on your low back, you can always come up onto your forearms, or you can just rest your sacrum or the back of your pelvis, maybe on your hands, on a blanket, pillow. You can extend your arms straight out, or you can rest a palm on your belly, palm on your heart. Just taking those deep breaths in, those deep belly breaths. Exhale, releasing tension from the mind, body. We're so close to that final relaxation, that Shavasana, that moment we all wait for. Let's go ahead and just guide our knees together for a moment here. Let's just take a few seconds here and circle our knees right over the hips, allowing the hips to be soft. Maybe going a few times one way, a few times in the other direction. And then just for a moment, we're gonna inhale, we're gonna curl up into a tight little ball here, using as much muscular effort as we can find. It's gonna feel maybe a little bit uncomfortable for just a moment, and then we exhale, we release all that work. We come here into Shavasana, our final relaxation. Just taking a moment, checking in with the whole body. Just allow the entire body to feel heavier and heavier. Allowing the force of gravity to draw you down. Just allowing your thoughts to pass by in your mind. And just slowly we'll bring the legs together. Let's come into a full body stretch. So body comes into a straight line, and then you might point your toes away from your fingers stretching in the opposite direction, and then press through the heels. And let's just bring the knees in towards the chest one last time. Let's give yourselves a nice little hug here, maybe rock side to side. And then very slowly, we'll just come back to a seated posture as comfortable as you can make it. Using whatever prop you might need to support your comfort. Let's go ahead and let's bring our palms together in Anjali Mudra. Thumbs pressing into the sternum. Sternum slightly presses into the thumbs. If it feels right for you, we could just bow towards our palms. And we'll just take a moment, we'll honor the light within, which resides in our spiritual heart. It's our true essence beyond all thought, feelings, mind, action. So yoga is really the journey of reconnecting with our spiritual essence here in our hearts. So we all come from the same light, and we're all returning to the same light. So in honor of this oneness of light and love that connects us all, you can repeat after me, Namaste. All right, thank you so much. Hope everyone has a great day. Thank you everyone for joining me today. So, namaste. This is where you go.